so much. Good afternoon, Douglas County. This is Commissioner Kelly Robinson, Chair of the Douglas County Board of Commissioners Transportation Committee. Today is Tuesday, July 18th, 2023, and we've got a pretty full agenda here, so we're going to go ahead and get started. I am remote, but I don't have a camera on, but I am present. As is our custom, we're going to go ahead and do a roll call to ensure that we have a quorum here. I'll start with myself. You have to say your name for the record, so it's being recorded. Kelly Robinson, Chair of the Committee, present.
Go ahead, sir.
Bill Miller, Chairman, present.
Suleiman Rana, present.
Ron Roberts, present.
Keith Cowart, present.
Keith, Ron Roberts. Well, we have enough for a quorum, so we'll go ahead with this 5 group. We have enough. Do we have our supporting cast members? Is David Good out there?
Yes, Commissioner. I'm here.
All right. Is Latanya Amons or Rosa Miller out there? If not, that's okay. All right.
Latanya's on.
Latanya's there. Is Tiffany Stewart Stanley on?
She is.
Okay, great. Yeah, we definitely have a full quorum. Director Rana, go ahead. Let's go ahead and adopt the meeting minutes. That should be the next order of business.
Yes, sir. First section item is adopting the meeting minutes of June 21st, 2023 meeting.
Okay. All right. I motion that we adopt the meeting minutes as presented. Can I get a second?
Second.
All right. We do have a second for the record. Again, we'll just go around the room. If you had an affirmative, just say your name. If not, say disagree, or if you weren't present, acknowledge that as well. Kelly Robinson, approve.
Bill Miller, approve.
Suleiman Rana, yes.
Ron Roberts, yes.
Keith Cowart, yes.
All right, so we've got the 5 voting members that carries the meeting minutes. The motion is passed to adopt the meeting minutes as presented. All right, Director Rana, let's just keep this meeting going, please.
The first item on agenda is Connect Douglas updates. For that, I'll hand it over to Director Roberts.
Thank you, Suleiman. Thank you, Commissioner Robinson. Hope you guys are having a good afternoon. We have Danielle Cherry Hoover on. She's going to do a brief presentation and walkthrough about ridership. So, Danielle, if you don't mind, you kick it up. There you go.
Here we are. Thank you so much. I am at the wonderful Multimodal Transportation Center. So I will share my screen. Is that okay, Director Rana?
Yes, please.
Okay, great. And in the event there is a lag, I'll just go off screen if you don't mind. Can you all see?
We can. That's up.
Great, fantastic. Okay, just briefly, I'm going to go through an update on education and outreach initiatives and activities since we all last met last month. So fixed bus ridership, which is one of our key performance indicators, and this information is given to us by the transitions, the fixed bus route operators. So the story to tell here is very well. There were 3,000 there to date. There are 3,078 additional riders. What we are looking at is 2022 versus 2023 to date. So that means January through June of 22 versus 23. And for those who may have not who are watching us or listening to us for the first time and may have missed last month's meeting, what you see here is just the trend. As I mentioned before, with an engagement and marketing, what we do is we trend over the most recent year. So in green, you see 2022, and then of course, and then the blue, you see 2023. So we're already outpacing last year by quite some numbers, by several thousand, as I mentioned. So we are still trending up. Customer service, what we are looking here is call logs. So we had the opportunity of working again with Transitions, Commute Solutions, gathering information, as well as the Douglas County IS department, to get internal call logs. So this started in March. I'm working with Transitions to gain their information as well as internal information. So when someone calls Connect Douglas line, the 770-949-7665, there are 4 options. Briefly, just to go through, the first, if you call in, option 1 is the Flex or ADA paratransit. Option 2 goes directly, and that's the external, to Transitions Commute Solutions. And then option 3, coming back internal, the mobility coordinator here within Connect Douglas. And then option 4, the wonderful staff at the front desk, so that customer service line. So when you call in, those are the 4 options that you hear on the phone tree. The option 2 goes external, the others go internal. Excuse me, option 1 and option 2 external, options 3 and 4 internal. So what we can track are what you see on the screen, options 2 through 4. And those are the calls that have come in to date. So those who are calling Transitions are, it would be safe to assume they're calling about fixed bus route. And if not, then obviously they're going to get directed into another option or another staff member who can help meet their needs. Option 3, mobility coordinator, and 4, customer service. So next, what you see in front of you is digital. So as far as all digital resources, those who may be tech savvy or have a smartphone or a mobile device, Connect Douglas can be found on a Google business page by doing a search via Google. So that helps with search engine optimization, having that page, and will future help with the map and searching. So once the wonderful transit master plan, we have the opportunity by having this Google page to also integrate that map searching as well. So what you see is January to June total views. That means just when someone has viewed the page, the Connect Douglas page, total searches. When someone physically goes in to search as much, whether it's Connect Douglas, Douglas Transit, something to that effect. And then the website, clicking on that link that you see, the website link, and then someone clicking on directions.
Danielle, real quick, for those who
Yes,
may not bring up and may just be listening, can you please read the numbers as you go through this? Like, what are the total views?
Absolutely, sir.
Phone calls, just because everybody's not feeling.
Yes, sir, absolutely. So to go into detail, the total views, which is the number of times a listing has been viewed by an end user. And that from January to June of 2023, that's 6,792 total views. Total searches, that's the number of times a user found the listing within a search, whether it's a Connect Douglas or Douglas County Transit, Douglas Bus. That number is 2,098. The website, when someone clicks on the website link, which goes to connectdouglas.com, that number is 1,101. And directions, that is when someone clicks on the Google business page, that directions tab, and that goes to the address, and that is 417. And the address, to be clear, is 8800 Norris Road. The events and engagement, we had a wonderful time at the most recent July 4th, 4th of July parade with the city of Douglasville. So Connect Douglas had a decorated fixed bus in the parade, handing out one-trip passes, candy, branded items, so all those who are along a parade route. And then what you're seeing on the screen are some of the wonderful pictures of those who are also participated in the parade, to include Eric Wright, the Deputy Director of Connect Douglas. He and I had a great time interacting with residents and attendees of that event. And what I do next want to bring to your attention is the Disadvantaged Business Enterprise free workshop. It will be located here at Connect Douglas, which is again 8800 Doris Road, tomorrow, July 19th, starting at 1 p.m. Now, the Disadvantaged Business Enterprise is a free workshop. Those who attend can learn more information of, first and foremost, how to become a Douglas County vendor, how to receive a free DBE or Disadvantaged Business Enterprise certification. And thank you in advance to CEI, who is GDOT's, meaning Georgia Department of Transportation's, their affiliate service, who helps put on these workshops to assist companies to gain their certification. Those who attend can also, of course, hear about the benefits of a DBE certification. Connect Douglas has projects for fiscal year 24 to 26. So those who attend, if you do not have your DBE, no worries. Bring your laptop. It's a hybrid workshop in person at 8800 Doris Road, the Multimodal Transportation Center, and also online via Douglas County Facebook page, as well as Connect Douglas Facebook page. So please, all of those you who are out there listening or know someone who has a minority or a woman-owned business and is certified, invite them. If they're not certified as a DBE, invite them. They can get certified. They can ask questions and sign up for a one-on-one with an analyst that day as well. So we invite everyone, again, July 19th, 1 p.m. here at the Transportation Center or online via Facebook. With that, I say thank you.
Thank you very much, Danielle. Very good presentation. I'm going to yield first. Director Roberts, anything else you want to add?
I wanted to thank Danielle for that and for staff that's going to be working with us tomorrow. David Good pointed out earlier that we want to make sure that we mention this tonight at the Board of Commission meeting as well. I don't think it's on the agenda. I emailed Lisa about getting it on the agenda so we can also get it announced tonight. And with that, that was my only comments on that section. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And I know yesterday, just for the record, the Board of Commissioners, the full Board of Commissioners went through a presentation regarding transit. Director Roberts, you facilitated that with the consultants. You were getting stakeholder feedback from the commissioners, as well as a piggyback or continuity. Chairman Miller, any comments on this? This is the data for the actual buses itself. Any comments or anything you want to extend regarding this, sir?
No, I'm a little impressed, and things are looking good, and I hope we continue to grow.
Thank you, sir. Danielle, thank you so much. And Director Roberts, anything else in your section before we yield back to Director Rana?
Yeah, they have the wanted to go over the ARPA fund. We are about to get $75,000 in ARPA funding from the Atlanta Regional Commission Agency on Aging. The plan is to do a pilot program with that fund with senior living that we've been out to in District 4. This is making good on something I had promised previous District 4 commissioner that we would actually start getting something in that district. So I'm looking for the contract from ARC, and when I get it, I'll be able to bring it to the board to get it approved and move forward with some shuttles, not just to there, but also some shuttles for seniors to make use of those funds, Commissioner. So that's. Have you already got the contract? We applied for the money, and are they already awarded the contract, or we're still waiting for them to award? We are waiting for them to award. I've been notified only in email, but this was the most current transportation subcommittee, and I know that they'll send it to me any day, so I wanted to go ahead and bring it before this committee. But it looks like we will get $75,000 for a pilot program to utilize for 65 and older in Douglas County in the next couple of weeks, and I'll bring that forward at that time.
Can we get a little bit more detail? I get $75,000. I get the target, but what will that be? Are you doing
Gotcha.
a Uber? You're doing a bus? I mean, how long will this money last? You gotta give us a little bit more than that. What did you present in the application to get the award? What is the plan?
Plan is to start using one of the cutaway buses at centers where the individuals sign up. They have to sign up and register with the Agency on Aging, and then once they are enrolled in the program, then we can start doing shuttles from these senior living centers to either senior centers like in Lithia Springs or Woody Fight, or we can we're looking at doing a Wind Down Wednesday transportation for some of the seniors to take them. Also, they have the vegetable, the farmers market. We're looking to set up some shuttles and times, get groups of these seniors together to provide them with either not just necessary trips to the grocery store, but also fun trips. This transportainment trips that we would be providing to them to get them out. A lot of these, in interviewing and talking with these seniors, what was interesting to me is that a lot of them are not from Douglas County. They're from other places. Their children have moved to the Atlanta area, and they wanted their parents near them, and so these type of housing exists for them to for the children to be close to their parents and them live autonomously, but many of them don't have cars. So this will get us, this gets us some funding to provide some trips, get them used to what our buses look like and how they operate, so that we can have that support that we need in the future for completing out what was described yesterday in the Transit Master Plan. And so it's a good program, and we're looking forward to moving forward with it.
I think I get the essence of it. So it's like our senior field trips. Some are dedicated to targeted areas. It could be the mall, it could be wherever you guys are designed. So there's going to be some routing. So I'm assuming that this is going to be coordinated through Dr. Gilchrist's group. Is that true, or you're handling this directly? Who's going to actually?
No, in fact, we actually met with Dr. Gilchrist's staff for a different program. That was our target group to outreach to them while they were doing a different program that is started by ARC. So it's and we're flexible. So we, whatever comes up, if there's a prom, senior prom, or an event or things like that, we want these groups. We want to identify these groups, get them registered, and then be available and move forward. And part of it would be hiring another driver. We can hire another driver that would help us with providing these trips, Commissioner.
Yes, that's what I was getting at. You've got some routes, you've got some overhead by people. We've already got an asset. Sounds like we're just going to use an asset that's on the sideline, and so you're going to try to extend services through this pilot program. And again, I look forward to more details once you come to the full Board of Commissioners. They're going to be asking some of these same questions, and I'll just wait to hear back officially. So be prepared to give a full presentation on how you're going to do it and how you roll it out and maintain this going forward. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Mr. Chairman Miller, any comments on the intent here to extend services to this pilot program, sir?
Oh, not at all. Sounds good.
You okay? I'm sorry, you broke up.
Yes, I'm great. I'm good. I said the program sounds good, and I hope it benefits Douglas County like you plan for it to do.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Chairman. And,
Thank you. All right, Director Roberts.
okay, I'm looking at the agenda, Commissioner Robinson, and the transit master plan is on there. All the consultants have left and are traveling right now, so they couldn't be on the call. But we did get some terrific feedback from everyone after the meeting. And so now it's really pencil in hand. That's really the update. It's just to share that we got the data that was shared, the information that was shared is very beneficial. I think everyone walked away very happy with the support that the board is showing for transit services, and we want to make that commitment to follow up with the full board on pinning exactly what the realities of what was discussed yesterday. That's the only comment I really wanted to make on that.
No, I appreciate that. We'll leave it at that. Yeah, we did have a full some time with them yesterday. I just want to make one comment. Today, down at the Georgia International Convention Center, the Atlanta Airport CID had a meeting with a lot of cities out of out of Fulton, as well as Clayton. And that's just their partnership, but they were just talking about regionalism and how their next steps. Now, obviously, they're more advanced. They're talking about heavy rail and other things. But one thing that caught my eye was what's called autonomous pilots that they're considering rolling out in a pilot program. Just want to put a marker for that. And I mean, as far as creative ideas, I mean, at some point, you're going to have autonomous vehicles. And if that's something that we can use for, connecting our parks together or whatever the case may be, can you make a note to just look into that, Ron, and see what intelligence you can find out regarding those autonomous pods, please, and have our consultants. I'm not telling you physically, but have our consultants looking at as far as an option for consideration for us, whether it's a hybrid, gas, electric only, autonomous pods. What does that mean for us? Is that a way for us to be just as efficient and as effective and its application here in Douglas? All right.
Sure. I know that Cumberland CID is working on that for the Braves right now. They're looking at securing right of way for trails to put these autonomous vehicles out there. They only carry about 8 people. So I know they're working on that. That'd be the first pilot program we actually see. Probably it would be Cumberland. So I do have an eye on it. I have a meeting this evening on the transfer stations, and so I am keeping these note of these items, and we are exploring them as they come up.
I appreciate it. Some people are pioneering and innovating beyond where we are because of their density and their capacity, but still they may inspire us some kind of way. So that's all. It's more sometimes it's just the intelligence, not that you're going to go and implement it. But thank you for that. Thank you for acknowledging it. All right. Well, if there's nothing else on the master plan, Director Ron, I'm going to keep this meeting moving because we've got a long evening tonight. So go on to your next topic, please, sir.
Yes, sir. The last item remaining from Connect Douglas would be the third-party RFQ that's already in works and has been discussed in the procurement committee. Director Roberts, would you like to have that discussion?
Absolutely. I know that Tiffany had made a call during the procurement meeting, and I jumped on it, and I have LaTanya Ammons on the phone as well. I just wanted to make sure that you were comfortable and with us putting this out. I know you had expressed concern because we're not done with the plan. We're not done here. We're not ready. But as far as RFP, we're looking for just base numbers of what unit cost is for these providers to do for us, what they bring to the table. And so I wanted to make sure that we answered anything else so that we could kind of keep moving this forward and actually get it put out. As I stated in the procurement meeting, we're going to need some time to get this out, to get good vendors, to explore what they're offering, and also there's a transition period that would take place. This is the 5th year for the transitions contract, and it ends in May. So we would need from January to May to transition from transitions if they are not a successful third-party operator, which means we need to get the RFP through the procurement and out. Now, staff and I have read through and vetted this, and there's the components that are remaining really just are mostly centered on dates and times, and that's something that purchasing and we just need to settle on and get done. But again, it's just we're looking just for unit cost on what these types of services would be, and I think this is going to be the way the funding and everything else in the future goes forward. This was a discussion after everyone left yesterday. Was there's the potential that we're going to be program managers for one, possibly two different providers in the next couple of years because of the way that the urban and rural funding is being separated through the census. So, but for right now, we want to look at a unit cost for continuing the services that we have in place with and getting this RFP out so we can get some names, get some companies, get these people in. I'm gonna open this to questions because I really don't know. If Director Ammons has something she'd like to add, I welcome that as well.
All right, well, thank you, Director Roberts. Director Ammons, are you out there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right. Just for the record, again, Chairman Miller is new to this committee, but more importantly, can you step back just for a minute and talk about our policy in every 5 years, why we do what we do, why we're considering, and put that in the context of this discussion, please, just for the public and just for us as well.
Oh, yes, absolutely. And thank you for the opportunity. And in the procurement world, we typically we like to have the best vendor at the best price at a particular time, but we do not like to go beyond 5 years as far as the vendor or contracting with the vendor without going out to public bid if the entity, i.e. Douglas County, is happy with the services that the vendor provide. And also a subset of that is we cannot commit future funds because we are a public entity. So our contracts are moving towards a 1-year contract with an option to renew. And that renewal is typically 4 times. And so, as Ron has stated, we're at year 5 with a particular vendor. They haven't had, I'm assuming, any major issues or problems, so they haven't wanted to go out to solicit bids from another qualified vendor until this time. And so we're at the end of the path with this particular vendor. And so it's time to renew to try to get, again, the best prices at this time. And also one where if there are some things that we need or we're looking for, we can ask for it at this time during the RFP phase that maybe they weren't addressed just because technology changes, the needs change. And so this is a great time to go back and say, hey, we need a new vendor and we would like for these things to be offered in the form of a contract and services for at least 1 year. Our goal is to continue on with the relationship, but we always start with 1 year.
Okay.
No, I appreciate that. And remind us, I am on the purchasing, the procurement oversight committee. What was the status when we presented that during that meeting? What became of it? Did we decide to move it on? As far as RFP?
Yes, we did decide to move on, but there was a question of if it was presented and solidified in the transportation committee meeting. And so I brought that up. I just wanted to make sure that we were all good with how we're going to move forward, or what the ask is, right, of moving forward. And so we get the yes from procurement, yes from transportation. And so we can just move, put out the RFP, and then present to the board, as soon as possible as we move through, as Ron has indicated, with the transition with the current vendor.
Okay. All right, I'm going to pause there just for a second. Chairman Miller, something like this, that because of the magnitude of it, in this particular meeting, we can vote to pass it on to the full board of commissioners or through concurrence, let it go. I don't like to make decisions without the full board for something like this. In other words, okay, let's make sure we're all on the same page to let this. So I'm going to let it be your call. Would you like to go straight to the board, or we can vote for it here?
I would like for it to go to the board.
Yes, sir. I thought so. All right, so we're through concurrence. Director Ronald, Director Amons, and Director Roberts send it to the full Board of Commissioners. We'll see it on the other side, okay?
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. All righty. All right, thank you. Thank you, Ron.
Sure.
We got it. You know what to do. Bring it to the full Board of Commissioners and let the board debate on how they want to move it forward, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. Director Rana, back on you, sir.
Yes, sir. Next up is Public Works. So we have Director Colbert to provide some general updates.
Captain, it's all welcome aboard, sir. Come on. Look forward to hearing you. And just by the way, just as a side note, we had a citizen yesterday doing public comment. And while I acknowledge Director Ron to meet with him, did you guys meet with that citizen? And I know there was a bunch of issues, code enforcement, limbs, resurfacing. Did y'all guys meet with him?
Yes, sir. I actually met with him just after he spoke, and our maintenance manager met with him before the meeting ended on site. So we've got a long list of his complaints. It's going to require some departmental coordination, WSA, code enforcement, and of course DOT. But that list is in works. We're working on it. Once we're done with it, we're going to walk this site with the resident and come back to you guys with an update.
No, I appreciate it. You know, from time to time, we do have citizens that are just not there for political commentary. It was a real issue. It wasn't really a legislative matter. It was an administrative matter, and I just wanted to acknowledge them. Did you take care of them? So we don't have to bring an update back to the board, just as long as you guys are servicing the citizens, okay?
Good job.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. Director Cower, you got the floor, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Good afternoon, Chairman Miller, Transportation Chair Robinson, and Tiffany Stewart Stanley. Are you out there? Good afternoon, everyone else. I've just got some updates. The DOT maintenance and construction side of the house, we are ready to actually start paving tomorrow. However, we're kind of held up right now because the PO is not signed. So as soon as that little clerical issue gets solved, then we'll be able to kick off our paving season. So that's pretty exciting. Then we have the actual paver that went down. First we had when the tack truck went down, and then after that the paver went down. It's back up, so we are back up and running and finishing out Stonehaven subdivision. Brightview is doing their litter pickup, and they've been cutting as well. Yellowstone mowing and litter pickup is on its fourth cycle, so everything is going very well with that. Bartow is who I was talking about, the resurfacing. That starts as soon, it could start as soon as tomorrow, as long as we get signatures on that.
Excuse me.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Who needs to sign the documents?
I believe that's all the commissioners, sir.
Yes. So the documents were executed. It's the purchase order that's gone through the regular chain. It's awaiting 3 commissioners' approval on the PO, and that's basically the last step.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll make sure that we
I know you would want
Thank you.
to go forward. I don't want to throw you under a bus like that. I'm trying to do it delicately.
I don't have it on my desk, so
Yes, sir.
Anything else, Director Cower?
if it is needed, then I want to fix that. So.
Exactly. I figured so. That's it for DOT. Landfill, we have, we've got the new, we have an update from, as you recall, we did the Republic they did the transfer and hauling the trash away. I'm sorry to forget the actual name of it, escapes me right now, but it was passed several weeks ago, and then approved by the board, but the actual contract haven't been able to get it signed. I haven't been able to get it back. So we have gone back and forth trying to get this thing sent and signed and through legal and then back to Republic, signed again and then back here. So it's taken a lot longer than it should have, but we have it now. Like I talked to Monica, Republic side, they're getting the signatures today and it should be back to me, and then it'll be over to purchasing for her signature, hopefully tomorrow, or for her to push it on to where it needs to go. So that's a big, I mean, they didn't stop us. They're great. They, this was a new contract starting May 1st, just to let you know how late this thing is. And they haven't stopped. We haven't skipped a beat. Everything's gone through. Service is continued. It's just been paperwork shuffle. But when you have good clients that you've had for a long time, then they overlook things like that just to get you on board and make sure business is going as usual. Any questions about that?
Yeah, real quick, what is the value of the contract?
It is
It's $48.50 a ton. That's what the quoted price in the RFP
and we're
was.
averaging 25 tons, something like that.
Just roughly.
Yeah.
Okay. Just trying to put context for the chair. So just looking what is the value of that contract? So all right, that's the fact if you don't know it. Just roughly how much do we I guess carry per year annualized, and then what do we anticipate this is? And I guess this is not a new price, the same price as before, or did they raise their prices? How did it work out?
Yes, they raised the price, and then which is as a result, the landfill had to raise our prices. So this was the thing that kicked that off in motion, and it was just, everybody raised prices. They hit us up. They raised theirs $8 a ton, so it was pretty steep. And we matched and raised it to try and meet our demands and still turn away some outside counties that were coming in as well. So got a good plan for moving on, but it all hinges on the transfer station, new transfer station in the immediate future.
Very good. To that point, just can both of y'all speak to Chairman Miller? Just you gave him context. Yes, we did have to raise our prices to accommodate our expenses.
Yes.
Accordingly. Talk about the fleet. I mean, that was one of the things I was going to talk about during facilities update yesterday. Mr. Chairman, we delayed to the Board of Commissioners, but since we're talking about the need of what the framing is for the fleet, for the transfer station. I know we improved the floor, but can you give them some context, please, and what's the next step?
Yeah, absolutely. So, sir, the transfer station building was built over 25 years ago. It is a metal structure on concrete floor. The concrete floor had been deteriorated. The key phrase you'll find in the planning of this was it was a temporary structure built over 25 years ago. So we have done patch job after patch job for the actual metal structure of it, the I-beams, that kind of thing, to keep it as safe as possible. But over the years, the facility, once we see what a better design came along and what it looks like, it's so much more efficient. It's gonna, we're far behind in that measure, but when in the big scheme of things, as far as the landfill transfer station, we're not that big of a client out there compared to some of these other counties, but we are growing, and it is time to transition. I think we can't go any further where we are. So, and to give you a few examples, if you pull in, we have a single building they have a concrete floor. We just paid to put a new concrete floor. The Board of Commissioners gave us the approval to emergency concrete floor, and that was crucial in getting to this day. And we're still going to use it for the remainder of its usability. We're going to have a recycling center kind of stationed out on that same floor. But right now, what we have is picture a tunnel that comes in, and the tractor trailer with a long open top trailer pulls in, and the top of his trailer is flush at the floor. So our operator just pushes and it drops into the back of it. There's a scale in the bottom of that. So the driver's looking on the wall. More importantly, the operator who's loading it can see on the wall how much that trailer weighs. Right now, what we're doing, sir, is you have to eyeball it to what you think. And these guys are good, you know, but it's not effective, and we can't really teach that. But they think they get loaded up to where they think is about the correct poundage, then they have to drive it all the way up the hill and then merge into traffic with our citizens and get on the scales and get the weight, bring it back down, park it. If it's not heavy enough, then we have to pull it back in there, load some more in there, and then do the process again. So you see the efficiency is gone out the window. We're looking at 2 tunnels coming in. We're looking at scales in the floor, on the wall, people can see it. You have 3 times the square footage, and it's safe. It's a clean, safe place for the citizens to come. They don't mind it. They're not complaining about it. They're not dumping something on the back road so they don't get a busted tire, going to the landfill. I mean, you name it, this is a needed thing. And we can actually push everything out of the transfer station and then utilize the C&D that's left. We can only put that for interagencies. So our DOT, our Parks and Rec, we would be the only ones putting anything back there in the ground, and it's only a C&D landfill, no liner. So everything else goes out. That's going to give us extend the life of that, probably 20 years. So in a nutshell, what are your questions? That's pretty much an overview of where we are. And I believe we got approved using SPLOST for the first time. The board has approved to use SPLOST funds for the first time, and it is, I believe I asked for 5 million. I think we're at 3 million. I'm not sure where the in between came from, but we're all moving in the right direction.
Is it advantageous for us to allow outside people to use our transfer station? It's money still coming in, sir. But no, I don't think at this point in the game right now, once it's rebuilt and we have things operating, you know, effectively, efficiently, then absolutely bring it on. It's money, but right now, no, sir, it's not. Okay. Commissioner Robinson, lead me in the right direction as to what we should talk about as far as maybe not these people from outside the county to use our station. Which is raising the price, sir.
Yeah, all right. There's 2 things to get by. So real quick, to that point, how much did the Director Power explain how much did the floor cost? And that it's not a throwaway. Secondly, we got a transfer station. And David Good, if you're out there, what's the SPLOST tweet number we got in there? He'll tell us in a minute. And more importantly, how long will our landfill last? I mean, a lot of this is all interrelated. As far as transferring stuff out, keeping stuff in, explain that a little bit, because we did have a very robust conversation with the board, and it's going down the right path, but explain why not? Why did we choose the path that we chose?
Absolutely. Let's go with the landfill. Landfill, sir, even if today was the last day, it was at a full capacity. It's not. We have, I believe, 9 years right now left on that C&D at the volume that it's currently been operating at, which is a very high volume because of the surrounding people coming in. So we raised the price, volume's cut down, so that amount has slowed. But say 9 years from now, we put the last piece of C&D in that ground in the back, close it up, seed it, straw it. We now go into post-operational requirements, and it's a 30-year guaranteed, no way around it. We have to operate this thing for 30 years after the fact. It's called post-closure. We've been, finance has been taking money for that, and what you're looking at is you've got you have to maintain cutting the grass. You have to maintain we have a clay cap on there. So rain, animals, anyone, four-wheelers that like to get in there when people are not around, running up the sides, that makes a natural irrigation ditch in their trail mark. And after a couple of rains, it does a lot of damage. So all that, the testing services that we have with our on-call engineers, they have 54 wells throughout the property that are doing ground watering and then we have 20 methane wells on the top. So we monitor these quarterly and send off everything, put it into the state database called GEOS, and it's all done through EPD, and they have to approve on it, sign on it, and they give us a grade once a year. At least once a year, they do surprise inspections. So we have to be pretty much wired tight out there, and ready for an inspection at any time. And so we have done that, and we're coming off the third year with a 100 on those surprise inspections. So we are meeting the mark. But this slowing it down will actually extend that number from 9 years to 20 years, and that's a guess based off the last time. We were at 4 years. We did some changes to the pricing and started pushing more things through the transfer station, and went from 4 years time left to 16 years. So when I say it's a big jump, we've all seen it happen here in the last 6 years, and I don't think it would be hard to go from where we are to 20 or even more. If it's just government agencies, everything goes out transfer station. Okay, I talked about that long enough. Where else you want me to go, sir?
No, well, let me add to that. So, to your point, right? We had to slow down. So, what happens if we close that landfill? That means we had to build a new one. So, where are we going to put a landfill in Douglas County? You're talking about not in my backyard. So, with the board, and it's I guess intentional wisdom was to try to slow down the filling up. So we raise prices to slow down, make things go other places. But think about it. If you kept this, what are you going to do? I guess we can send everything out, but if you had to build one internally, that was something that the board was not willing to take up. And so they charged Director Kyle would come up with a plan for us to slow this thing down. Notwithstanding, the county is growing, right? So right now, the county is growing. So, I mean, not only just other people, but we got to balance this, Mr. Chair. This is a good topic. This is something that we have to have. We got to deal with waste, whether it's obviously the organic stuff or C&D. But this is something that does require some thoughtfulness about it, and the board is doing little small things to maintain, to extend, etc. But at some point, it will fill up, and we're just trying to put the design and the plans in place today for sometime in the future. Some administration will have to deal with this. And so I think that's the best we can do on this topic for right now. But Mr. Chair, did that help though, sir?
It helps, you know, I still don't know at this, and I know this is a short meeting, and I don't want to lengthen it any more than it already is, but I still don't know which is the best way to go to allow other people to outside the county to use it, or is it more economical and more to do the right thing for Douglas County if we stop them from doing it and prolong the life of our landfill, or is the money that comes in, does it justify it? So that's where I am. I'm just thinking out loud.
No, I appreciate that. And that's a topic that we can bring up during our Board of Commissioner retreat.
Yeah. Let's go on with something else.
If Tiffany's out there, make a note of that. Again, I want, because we are going to be talking about, yeah, we're going to talk about facilities anyway as a marker during the Board of Commissioner retreat. So Tiffany, make sure you grab that, or if she's not on the call, let's make sure she gets that. Mr. Chair, good topic, and we'll bring it back. Not that I just want to be sensitive to this meeting. But if there's anything else you want to add before I let Director Ronna keep moving?
Oh, I think I probably added too much already.
No, you're fine. You're good. No, this is good topic, good thoughtfulness, and it's good for the public to hear our public conversation as well. So thank you, sir. Director Ronna, let's keep us going. If nothing else for Director Coward, let's just keep this moving, guys.
Yes, we do have Madam ACA Tiffany here. Her hand is up. I just wanted to give her a second to see if she had anything to add.
Please. Yes. Madam ACA?
I may have put her to sleep.
We waited too long.
And we can check with her after the meeting to see what her thoughts were, but I think we can move on to the next item at this point. So moving on to Department of Transportation updates. I'll go ahead and share my screen so the agenda comes back up. The first item is the encroachment permit and the indemnity agreement for I-20 at Post Road ramps. As you might be aware, committee chair and the committee members, we started a SPLOST 2016 project, which was to address the right turn congestion on Post Road at I-20 interchange and also signalization of the eastbound approach. While when we presented that contract for board approval earlier this year, everybody acknowledged the bad condition of the shoulders on the interchange. As we know, the projects take time, and especially the transportation projects often take a few years. We were given the instruction to perform intermediate repairs on the shoulders. So for the time being, it addresses the safety and the operational issues on that interchange. We reached out to GDOT and to request since these are GDOT maintained ramps, we requested maintenance that the ramps deserved, and we were told that there is a significant backlog that they're working through with labor shortage and all of that. So we worked out a deal where they would be supplying us with the material, which takes away our cost, and we will be putting up our maintenance crew to actually install or basically address the potholes and the rutted shoulders. That I think is a fair compromise. We get to do our maintenance need per our timeline, and we get them to put in the equipment and of course the material. So if that approach is acceptable to you, the committee, we would like to get into this indemnity agreement and apply for that encroachment permit to get onto those ramps and address those potholes and shoulder issues at this interchange.
Okay. Is there an action that needs to be taken by the full Board of Commissioners in order to enter into this agreement?
Yes, sir. We'll need. I'll need a motion to recommend indemnity agreement and the encroachment permit for full board approval. If there are no questions, I can go ahead and make the motion now.
We can discuss it while we're inside the motion. So
okay.
Go ahead and make the motion.
I make a motion that this committee recommends indemnity agreement and encroachment permit for I-20 at Post Road ramps for full board approval.
I second it. All right, got a motion and a second. Any discussion, any clarity that's needed? This is going to go to the full Board of Commissioners. Any agreement that's legally bound, the legal has to look at it, the county administrator, and of course the chair will sign it. but the board has to approve it. So, any further discussion on this? So, what time will you have this before us? At our next meeting or sometime next month?
Yes, first meeting of August.
Okay. All right. Sure, Millie, you okay?
I'm great.
All right.
Good.
All right, we got a motion and a second. We'll go down the room again. We just need you to say your name if you agree or disagree, just for the record for the meeting minutes. Kelly Robinson votes yes.
Bill Miller votes yes.
Suleiman Rana, yes.
Ron Roberts, yes.
Keith Cowart, yes.
All right. We got at least 5 of the voting members. It sounds like it's unanimous. Tiffany's not here. And so go ahead and send it straight to the Board of Commissioners.
I'm here, Commissioner.
You're there? Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why y'all can't hear me. I'm sorry. What'd you say?
Are you voting yes to this? Did you hear the topic?
Oh, yes, yes.
All right, so we got 6 yeses, no nos. Director Rodney goes to the full Board of Commissioners next month. And we're going to pause before you go to your next item. Did you want to say something, Madam ACA?
Yes. So earlier I was just going to say I would get with Director Coward and get some information so we could have a recommendation for the board regarding the landfill. That was it.
Got it. Great. All right. Ms. Karen Miller, you hear that? She's going to bring it forth to the full board at a future meeting.
Yes, thank you.
All righty. Director Rana, keep us going.
Yes, sir. Next item is regarding New Manchester High School sidewalk. As you all know, this has been in design for quite some time now. We're just now getting to the finish line on the design side with all the permitting and right-of-way acquisition. Just some background, this is about 3/4 of a mile of a sidewalk that connects Boundary Waters Park with the New Manchester High School. There's an alignment shift about midway of the project, about a little over half miles from Boundary Waters towards New Manchester High School. That crossing will be signalized, and we recently got approved permits from GDOT because this too, State Route 92 is a GDOT owned roadway. GDOT approved and signed off on those signal plans, and now we're at the last step of asking for encroachment permit from GDOT. This would not really hold up the project as we wrap this up. We are planning to advertise it by early next month, and in the background we'd request that this encroachment permit application be submitted to GDOT. So this again would be an action item for this committee, and I'd pause here for any questions.
All right. Again, Chairman Miller, this was part of the 2016 SPLOST as a funding mechanism.
Okay.
It was a very important project. The thoughtfulness of the board was to connect parks with schools, and it's what we call safe passage. We got a lot of good comments from Superintendent North and the Board of Education regarding this project. Again, we own parks, they own the schools, but we took it up to put this infrastructure in place to allow our children to pass safely from one side to the other. So this was a good project to point through, good community value, and so and again, remember Douglas County didn't start with sidewalks. Where development must have sidewalks in the front, but there are certain areas that we didn't grow that way, and so there's certain areas where we are strategically using our SPLOST to fill in sidewalks where it makes sense around schools and parks. So that was just sort of the background on that.
I think it's a great plan.
Great. All right, make your motion, Director Rana.
I make the motion that this committee recommends indemnity agreement and encroachment permit for New Manchester High School sidewalk for full board approval.
I second.
All right, we got a motion. I'll second it. That's a second. Any further discussion? All right, if none, we'll go down the room again. For the rest, you got to say your name, either yes or no, for this matter, just for the meeting minutes. Kelly Robinson votes yes.
Bill Miller, yes.
Suleiman Rana, yes.
Ron Roberts, yes.
Keith Cowart, yes.
Tiffany's out
Commissioner
there.
Stanley, yes. Yes.
All right, got it. No problem. We got 6-0 unanimous vote, and it passes. Go right ahead, Director Rana. Go into our next question.
Will do. Next item is a lighting agreement. So under the same SPLOST 2016 project list, one of the major initiatives was to add streetlights to various roadway corridors, intersections, and interchanges. The goal of that was to provide illuminated corridors for safety and for beautification also. We've made major progress over time. Before us is a memorandum of understanding with GDOT to support 73 streetlights on State Route 166. The limits of this project would be from Chapel Hill all the way to the new roundabout on State Route 154. This would have 73 streetlights, each with its own fiberglass pole. It's going to have all the required GDOT standards, lighting requirements embedded into it. Greystone is working on designing and permitting this project. We, as a county, just need this memorandum of understanding in place with GDOT, assuring them that it's our responsibility and will be responsible for maintenance and operation of these streetlights. This, again, would be an action item for this committee, and I'll pause here for any questions.
All right. Again, Chairman Miller, again, another situation. While we know Douglas County desires to be a bedroom community, and parts of it tends to be more lit and urbanized, there were certain parts of the county, and this was unanimous votes to spread out lights where it strategically made sense. I'm sure you know all the roadways in Douglas County, so 166 was identified as being a corridor that needs to be lit. Riverside Parkway, it had 128 lights added to it as part of this loss. Just those strategic areas, not everywhere, but just for safety. And we get a lot of citizens complaints about deer and rain and kids driving fast and all types of things. There were some certain areas that we identified, and we want to spread it equally throughout the county, and that's where this initiative came from, just for operational safety for our citizens. Do you know the area, sir?
I know it very well. I know that there's not a lot of people who live along that road. I guess we're doing it for the deer and other reasons, because I don't see a lot of people walking in that area. I don't see a lot of foot traffic at all. And maybe it's necessary. Maybe I need to be educated. I don't know if I see the need for it. I don't. What's the cost of this to the county?
Sir, the cost, the direct cost under SPLOST 2016, we did a contract with Greystone, which had a base cost of $160,000 for installation of, I would say, a few hundred streetlights. So that is a set in stone negotiated value. The added cost with this specific project would be the $9 per month each streetlight that we install going forward, which would basically be the electricity bill.
Yeah, $650 a month. I don't guess that's too bad in the scheme of things. But yeah, I'm okay. I just I guess as we look all over the county and see all our needs, I don't know if that would fit the top of my list or not. But I'm okay. Thanks for showing it to me. I don't know. I don't think I can vote against it. So yeah, go ahead and do what you got to do.
No, you bring up a good point. And again, this is about lights. I'm saying sidewalks, no foot traffic. But this was about, we had a lot of citizens input on this. The citizens weighed in and said, look, y'all need to have some lights over here. Again, I've got, teenagers at that time, and they do speed. And so again, if you're used to a non-urban area, it may not bother you. But there are a lot of people who do drive back there on that corridor, and it was more about safety. We wouldn't have done it, but the board, it cuts to almost 3 commission districts. They all weighed in and says, no, that's an area that is strategic to us, and they agree with their citizens. But to your point, I get it as relates to overall priority, but there was a need to have some degree of lighting that we've aged out of not having some degree of it was just general safety. So I'll leave it at that, but duly noted.
No problem.
Y'all heard them now.
No problem here. I just, I just thought I'd put my 2 cents worth in, but I accept what's there. Okay.
Yes, sir. I heard you, but duly noted. I understand, and I appreciate your input as well. It's a balance, right? So, Director Rana, go ahead and make your motion.
All right, I'll make a motion.
I think we're already in, right?
I'm sorry.
Did you make a motion and we're in, or are you still need to
No,
make?
I'm about to make it now. So I make a motion that this committee recommends the roadway lighting agreement with GDOT for street lights on State Route 166 from Chapel Hill Road to roundabout at State Route 154 for full board approval.
Can I get a second?
Second,
All right, we have a
Ron
motion.
Roberts.
And again, Chairman Miller, this is on our SLOSS list. It is something that was done through committee as well as the board approved the list, and this is on the list. But duly noted, your comments will be appreciated when it comes before the full board for actual authorization on next month. So you get to say it again in front of the full board. So we got a motion and a second, everybody. Let's keep this meeting going. I know it's getting a little bit longer than normal, but I got a motion and a second. We're going to go around the room to agree or disagree to send it to the full board of commissioners for approval. Kelly Robinson, I vote yes.
Phil Miller, I vote no.
Suleiman Rana, yes.
Keith Cowart, yes.
Ron Roberts, I vote yes. And it's really another thing that's a part of this is the scenic byway designation for
Hold on.
166.
Let's finish this up first. I'll let you speak afterwards. We're in motion right now. So we got a yes. Anybody else? Tiffany?
I don't see Tiffany on here right now.
It's okay. So we've got a 4-1. This passes. Make sure the notes reflect the no vote. So 4-1, it does pass. Thanks to the full board of commissioners for further discussion and approval. All right, real quick, Director Roberts, go ahead now.
Yes, sir. So 2.5 years ago, you may recall when I was in planning and zoning, we took the scenic byway 166 to the state and got it designated as a scenic byway. So I think that these kind of projects will help. I mean, in the next iteration of travel brochures and things that every traveler coming in and out of the state of Georgia can pick up. They'll pick up a map and it'll have the scenic byways within the entire state. And Douglas County is represented by this corridor. So that's kind of what my feelings were on it. But I just wanted to mention that because I know that's not something that we haven't. I think we're waiting on the signage to make the ribbon cutting and the announcement for that and all that stuff. I'm not really sure where that's at right now, but I know that was approved by GDOT and it is something that's going to occur. So that's my 2 cents.
Okay, I'm familiar with that, and I don't know how to say this. I'm not 100% against it. I just think there's more projects throughout the county that are more important, and that's just my opinion. And we all get to have one.
Yes, you do. First Amendment. All right, guys, let's keep going. Thank you. I want to be sensitive to our time. Director Rana, anything else?
That is it for our official agenda. I do have one last news to share about a grant. You might have remembered a few months ago, or about a month ago, we came before the board requesting authorization to file for an SAP grant, which is a Safety Action Plan grant that was going to allow us to deploy additional signage or repair existing signage throughout the county. We were notified about the funding availability just before the budget closure, fiscal year closure last month from GDOT, and we put together an application within 4 days, and with both support and of course the county administrator's approval, we submitted that application, and we received the notification end of last month that we were awarded $235,000 to upgrade our signage countywide, and we had a 21 roads list that we circulated through the board about our needs and what we'll be addressing with this money. So that is just something that I was very excited about, and we look forward to getting these dollars implemented countywide. And just to give you a sense of what it's going to get us is, it's the $235,000 with about $70,000 of a local match. It's going to allow us to do somewhere between 1,500 to 2,000 signs countywide. We do have a big backlog of signs that we're trying to tackle, and this grants like these and pushes like these really pushes us closer to our goal. So just wanted to share that good news with the committee.
That is good news, Brent. Does it require a match from the board?
Yes, sir. It requires a 30-person match, which is about $70,000. When we applied for the grant, the board authorized that we take that match from CTF, Capital Transportation Fund.
Okay, got it. And to that last point, not to belabor this, how much money do we have left in our capital transportation fund? Do you know?
So last time we checked with the recent supplemental agreements we've signed, we had roughly somewhere between $700,000 to $800,000, and that is excluding the additional $1 million contribution that's going to come this year.
Gotcha. Got it. All right, that's all I want, just for the record, of what the context of that was. But there's no action on this committee for that right now at this point.
No, sir, just sharing the good news.
Very good. Thank you for that. All right, guys, I'm going to go around the room. Chairman gets the last word. Anything else before we adjourn this meeting that you guys want to bring up, committee members? All right, I'll take the silence as that you're good enough. Mr. Chair, any final comments before I adjourn the meeting, sir?
No, thank you. I appreciate all of you. All of you are more intelligent than I deserve, and it's fun to watch you guys at work and see you accomplish what you accomplish every day. So I'm impressed. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. If there's nothing else that needs to come before this Douglas County Board of Commissioners Transportation Committee meeting of July 18th, 2023, let this meeting stand adjourned.